Okay. I'm trying this. I'm hoping this works. Um, Not sure if it's working. Guess I'm about to find out. Can go back? It's clear. I'm trying Google Hangouts. This is not something I've done before. Um, it looks like it's working despite the fact that my freaking fan is on, seems to be on helicopter mode. Um, but it seems to be working better than I initially anticipated. Um, Yay. And so I have two of you back now. Yay. So let's get back into um, 12/23. I don't know why I almost said like December. Like December 23rd. We're going to talk about December 23rd. No, we're going to talk about, this is where the alcohol starts kicking in. We're going to talk about, oh, and my screen's not, it's not reversed. It's mirrored. Oh, that's much better. We're going to talk about episode 23, season 12. Wrap this bad boy up. All right. Kelly trying to put together an IKEA crib, wanting to leave something for her son because she's come to grips with the fact that she's not going to be around. He's not going to know her. She's not going to know him, but she wants to know that she's left him something. Cass tries to comfort her. Cass is always a bit awkward, but for some reason with Kelly, I don't feel like he's like that at all. Like he's not self-assured and I know what to do, Cass, but at the same time, he's not as awkward as I'm used to seeing him be. Does that make sense? Like he's not the awkward, unsure, bumbling through everything Cass, if that makes sense. And then, of course, the boys, we flash over to the boys in the bunker and Mary. They start talking about, okay, Lucifer, what do we do? We've got Crowley, who magically appears. Hello, boys. Don't get me started. And we actually get to see what we had all known actually happen with Crowley jumping. I'm sorry, this is kind of uncomfortable. It's the wrong spot. Crowley actually jumping from his own body into the mouse right before Lucifer killed him, and then going back and finding his body. To which, did anybody kind of feel like the resurrection of Crowley, like not so much him leaving the mouse's body and jumping back into his own vessel, but Crowley breaking through the dirt and reaching up was very Lazarus Rising from season 3 of Supernatural in Dean's resurrection. That was just a thought that I had. It could just be me. I'm willing to go with that. But Sam decides to call Rowena because they feel like they really need her help. She helped get him out of the cage. She could help them get him back in. And of course, it jumps to Rowena's phone, and we see this crispy body on the ground. And then, of course, Lucifer with a sprig of hair. And it all felt very confusing until we realize that that's Rowena's poor crispy body, which, yes, I'm extremely sad to see Rowena and Ruth Connell go. But I kind of see why they did it, because they were taking Crowley out of the picture, which I'm still not ready to talk about yet. I don't get the point of him flaying her to a crisp, but still having a lock of her hair. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But obviously Lucifer informs the boys that she is gone and he is heading to find his son. To which we go back to Cass and Kelly coming back to the cabin, and they're looking at us crazy. You'll get used to it. And so many diapers, which from a parental standpoint, pretty accurate. I mean, pretty accurate. And then Kelly appears to be starting labor. And as they walk away and go into the cabin, there's this odd yellow light where Kelly touched the tail end of the truck that seems to come out of the truck and float around. And to me, it initially looked like it was going back into the house, which was kind of odd. We, of course, realized later it went around the house, but it's just very, very odd. And then obviously, of course, we see a glowy, what appears to be a glowy gold stick in the yard. That's what I called it. Just a glowy gold stick floating in the yard. Cass finds it and touches it and goes to hell, purgatory. I thought my first thoughts were purgatory. Oh, don't get me started on Eileen if we're going to talk harsh deaths. No. Not ready for that one yet either. So Cass steps into through the crack and appears somewhere. My initial thought was purgatory. And he is attacked by what obviously looks like a demon, but has horns and whatnots. And he is saved by... And then we have Kelly on a tablet recording a note for the baby, who she has decided to call Jack. And it was very sweet. It was very bittersweet and sad. But it's something else she could leave, an actual physical and video representation of herself for her son. And I thought it was very sweet. So Crowley, of course, shows up at the bunker, and he's not happy. He's, being in a mouse has given him time to think. And he doesn't want hell anymore. There's too much paperwork. There's too much whining and moaning. It's not what he thought it would be. So why are you there? Well, everything's going to crap. And so where else would I be but with you big, beautiful, lumbering piles of flannel? That was probably my favorite line in both episodes. I wanted to say last week. But big, beautiful, lumbering piles of flannel. And I agree. I do think I agree with you, Cricket. I think Crowley gave up. But we've kind of seen, I don't think this is so unexpected for Crowley, because every time we've kind of seen him in hell, it's very much, I'm bored. I'm not enjoying this. This is not what I thought it would be, and despite hell was supposed to be something of his remaking, like when Cass shows up that time and it's just people waiting in lines, which, yeah, let's face it, that is kind of its own hell. But it's despite Crowley remaking it however he wants as king, it's still not what he thought it would be. So Crowley offers, he offers to help the boys, and the stipulation is that I help you, you help me. I shut the gates to hell forever. You never see any more black-eyed demons, no demons, period, except yours truly. And so it's very, I don't think the boys really want to believe it, especially after everything at the end of season 8, when they tried this before, where they were actually trying to have Sam shut the gates. But I think they're willing to entertain the idea. Rachel, this was a 2-hour episode. Of course you have time to wash and condition your hair, and I'm still talking. It's like you don't even know me. I can talk a hole through a brick wall, let's be honest. And then we go back to the cabin. Kelly's looking for Cass. She is very, very much in labor. We go back to the bunker. The boys are searching for Cass themselves, trying to find any strange occurrences. They find him oddly renting a cabin under the name James Novak. Who'da thunk? They put Crowley on lockdown with the demon blade. Then we go back to Cass and Kelly. Apparently Cass took an online doula class. Who'da thunk? Still trying to figure out what's up with the glowy rift. Kelly asks Cass, what did you see when the baby powered him up, basically? Tells her, I saw the future. No fears, no suffering, no hate. I saw paradise. And I don't know if it's an old saying, but I know there is one old saying, at least in my neck of the woods, you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. And being that he's the son of the devil, they never actually lie. They just don't tell you the whole truth. So makes me very, very wary. The boys actually show up at the cabin. Sam finds the glowy rift, and it's a door to another world, Cass explains. I love that, like, so what? It's like another land, like kind of like that place where the supernatural didn't exist and you were Polish. So there's the mention of French Mistake episode, which I thought was pretty good. And they go to Bizarro World, where they meet up with Bobby. I was so excited to see Jim Beaver, you guys. I love Jim. I hope one day, my friend went to a con and was very nice enough to have Jim Beaver wish me a happy birthday, which I will never, ever forget. And I think he's great. I almost broke my new chair. I think Jim Beaver's wonderful. I just want to hug him forever. But they end up in the glowy rift, and they realize quickly when they run into Bobby that this is a world with no Sam and Dean. Sam and Dean never existed. The world was never saved. And Rufus, oddly enough, is his gun. Is he named after Rufus the person? Who knows? Rachel thought it would be John. I think part of us, after everything, kind of hoped it would be John. But it is what it is. But we also find out that Mary, this is a world where Mary never made the decision to save John. Therefore, Sam and Dean, because that decision was made prior to them getting married or just shortly thereafter. And then Cricket says, I thought it was Benny. And that would have been a pretty good guess, especially considering we weren't really sure what kind of world it was until Cass told them. It did kind of resemble purgatory, very much so. Crowley shows up after they get back to regular supernatural world in front of the cabin and says he is the answer. And they have a new plan. Lucy shows up to face Team Free Will. Chuck gets mentioned. Sam, you're like a virgin in Jesus camp. And we learn that Lucifer's plan is basically Apocalypse Take 2, round 2, however you want to call it. Cass goes after Lucy. He gets deflected. The boys run. Oh, so childish. Anyone else? The rift was... It's just you, Kate. Come on. I mean, I think like that too, but dang, woman. Dang. Dang. Rachel, Jesus Camp is a scary place. Been there, got many t-shirts from it. Me too, boo. Me too. Cricket says, I love how they look like. And yeah, it's very true. It was like, okay, Cass has been tossed around the room. Okay, go. And they take off around the house, and they actually go to the rift. Lucifer's like, what the heck is this? The boys hop through, and he follows. Crowley is already there and working a spell. Dean attempts to shoot him with Bobby's gun, which he told them earlier kills angels. However, the bullets don't really work. They have everything. Sam's like, yes, the spell's going to work. And Crowley's like, nope, we need a life. And it's at that point that we realize this is Crowley's exit plan to get out of being King of Hell. So we have a bit of a Lucy Crowley face-off, and he pulls his angel blade. He says, bye, boys. And, okay, y'all, I just want y'all to know, I don't cry over TV shows. Because I know it's fiction. It's not real. This one kind of got to me. I found myself, once I had stopped watching, extremely teary-eyed. And it took a lot of righteous indignation and anger not to cry. I don't cry. It's very few and far between. I'm a very stoic person. But Mark kind of got to me, not gonna lie. Okay, so we lose Crowley, and we flash back to Kelly and Mary. Mary's, of course, with Kelly because she's in active labor. The boys are trying to take care of the Lucifer situation so that Lucifer can't get his hands on the baby. And I don't know how else to say this, but the baby Jack kind of explodes from Kelly. I don't know, knocks Mary back and slightly unconscious onto the floor. And I'm just like, well, talk about giving birth. Like, I don't... Oh, Lord. It just, I don't know. It struck me as odd. And this is coming from a woman who, like, went from just having her water broken to ready to push in 45 minutes with my second child. So it was just really weird. Yeah, Jack was like, I'm out of here. I'm going to blow this popsicle stand. Oh, literally. Just blow her up. Oh, God. Horrible. And then we see Cass finally comes through the rift, and we think he's in the clear, and Lucifer pops in behind him with an angel blade and takes out our beloved Cass. And we have a moment to kind of process that. That was another one that kind of got me. I think if it was just one person that we lost in this episode, I would be okay. But the fact that we lost Rowena, Crowley, and Cass all in one episode, that's what's hitting me real hard. Mary comes packing. She actually has a set of the brass knuckles that the British Men of Letters muscled. Lady Bevel's muscle had it earlier this season. The angel spelled brass knuckles, a pair of them, and she goes in swinging. And obviously it doesn't have the same effect on Lucifer that it did on Cass. However, it has some effect. She's not completely ineffective, which is great. And so Lucifer actually pulls Mary into the rift, which suddenly closes. And so now Mary and Lucifer are stuck in the rift. Sam realizes it's closed because Jack's been born. He turns and looks up at the window and heads in to go check on things, I guess. And Dean's there with Cass, with his best friend, the person he's been closest to aside from his brother. Basically another brother, or however you want to look at that. I say ship and let ship. But someone he was, no matter how you look at it, it's someone he was very, very close to and had a very strong relationship with. Some would even say a more profound bond with. Yes, I went there. But he looks to the sky, and I kind of felt like he was looking for Chuck, because we know Chuck has brought Cass back to them before. And so it was almost like he was waiting for Chuck to bring him back again. And it was so heart-wrenching to see Dean do that to no effect. Sam gets upstairs, gets into the bedroom, realizes that Kelly is gone, thus confirming that Jack has been born. And he sees these footprints. They're obviously larger than a baby's footprints in the room. He follows them down the hall into the baby room that Kelly had created for Jack. And he is face to face with Jack himself. And the last we see is not only, and for a second there, just go with me on this. For a second there, I almost expected Jack to look like Adam, Jake Abel. Like, I don't know why, because technically he ended up being Michael's vessel when they went into the cage. But for some reason, I was like, it's gonna be Jake Abel. It's gonna be Jake Abel. I don't know. But the last we see is the glowy yellow eyes, which is very different from Lucifer, who has the red eyes, and the other angels who have the blue eyes, but he has the yellow eyes, not like Yellow Eyes Demon, obviously, but the yellow glowy eyes, and the most evil smile that I think I've ever seen in quite a while. And I have my own children. So that's where the season leaves us. Yikes. Super yikes. All the yikes. Yikes, 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 yikes. The last shot of Jack reminded me of X-Files. And he is kind of Adam-esque. Jack is so creepy. Jack is creepy. Jack's a creepy kid. Speaking of yikes, just saying, I Googled the actor, and he's cute, and he's within range for me to screw him over. I'm glad you covered that base for yourself, Rachel. I have not Googled the actor. I haven't looked. I'm kind of, I kind of, and I don't think he's completely grown-ass man, Tiffany. I mean, the actor, obviously, we're getting that information. He is, but I don't think he's going to be played or portrayed as grown man. But he might be. So, who knows? It should be interesting. So, predictions for next season. We obviously know Crowley's not coming back. The odds of Rowena coming back in any way, shape, form, or fashion are slim to pretty much none. Jared's already spoiled us in saying that Misha is coming back. I haven't heard all that because with everything going on with the not being able to watch the finale and so forth, I've kind of avoided Tumblr during Jib and Percon and Asylum and all this other kind of stuff going on, so as to not be any more spoiled than I already was. But we're getting Misha back. I don't know that we're getting Cass back. So that should be interesting. Cricket says, I have a feeling he will bond with Sam. I think there's a lot of us that feel that way because Sam is Lucifer's true vessel. And of course, we've got Mary and Lucifer stuck in, as Dean would say, bizarro world. So how is that going to play out? Is Jack going to try and bring Daddy home? Will they be trying to find a way home? We know that Bobby is in bizarro world and very much alive and very much knew and had a connection with Mary. So are we going to see more of Jim Beaver next season? Is Jim Beaver going to be in the season premiere and find our dear Mary to help her? We're not sure how Misha's coming back without Cass. We're not sure if it's Cass coming back or if it's Misha playing another character, like somehow, because we know that Jimmy Novak's soul is gone. It's taken off to heaven. We're not really sure how it's going down. I agree with you, Kate. I feel like this is kind of going full circle and going back to the beginning. Moms on a hunting trip. Well, not really. But next season should be really, really interesting. Really, really interesting. And that's it. That's all I've got for you guys. Really quick stuff before you guys head out on me. I can't wait for next season. I can't wait to be able to do this with you guys every episode next season. However, assuming I do want to kind of throw this out to you guys for next season. And if you're not watching this live, if you're watching this after our live stream has aired, please feel free to reach out to me on Twitter at Oriana75 or reach out to me on Tumblr, shootingthesalt.tumblr.com. I really want as many people as possible to be able to be a part of the live stream and interact and chat and give your thoughts and feelings and your predictions on the next episode. So as opposed to doing this Thursday night after the episode aired, I want to know how you guys feel about changing it permanently to a Friday night episode, whether at 8 p.m. Eastern time or 9 p.m. Eastern time, as opposed to doing it directly after the Eastern Central episode airs. Because like I said, I really want, I know there's Cricket, of course, is joining us from Germany. We have my dear sweet Ree, aka Kitten, who joins us from across the pond in Britain. I also have another friend in Germany who would love to be a part of this. And I really want everybody to be a part. So, and then of course our West Coast friends, I want them to be able to, like Kate and my friend Manna and whatnot. I want you guys to be able to be a part too. So if you wouldn't mind, leave a comment on this video, throw me a message on Tumblr, throw me a message on Twitter, say, yes, please change it to Friday nights. Tell me if you have a time preference that's better so that everybody can be involved. Couple other quick things. I want to thank everybody who has been a part of this season, who has encouraged me in some way, shape, form, or fashion to do this show. Jody at Eldwin's Fantasy, once again, who made this beautiful necklace, which is the bond of Team Free Will. You can find her at eldwin.etsy.com or search Etsy for Eldwin's Fantasy. You can also follow her on Twitter at Eldwin, ELDWENNE. Also, Little Pop Workshop. She's on Twitter at little_pop_work, I do believe. It might be workshop. Gosh, my friend Michelle, Kate, the Snapchat group, whose name will stay anonymous for reasons. Geez, all my Tumblr fam. Gosh, so many people. Rose, Jess, Ash, Ree, all you guys. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be doing this. So thank you very, very much. I love you very, very much. And we will see you next. Well, we'll see you in like 3 months, you guys, for season 13. Also, here's an idea. I'd love to have a post San Diego Comic-Con show about the panel and the things that they talk about there. So if you guys would like to see that, also hit me up and let me know. And other than that, we'll see you guys. Oh, I'll also be at New Orleans Comic-Con in October. Not New Orleans Comic-Con. Creations New Orleans I will be at 2 creation conventions this summer. I'll be at the one in July in Chicago. I'll also be in the one after season 13 starts in New Orleans. And that one will probably have my lovely kitten as special guest, assuming we get to watch the episode that night and we're not like being crazy at karaoke, because that Friday's my birthday. So anyway, I watch a live stream like the Canadian criminal I am. What? You guys are nuts. You guys are nuts. Anywho, I love you guys. Thank you so much for bearing with all my technical difficulties and all the insanity. We will probably go with Google Chrome next season because this worked so much better. I love you guys. Hit me up on Twitter. I may do a Periscope here or there. So it's Oriona75. Hit me up on Tumblr, and I will catch you guys when we get closer to next season. Toodles.